Hello and welcome to Unverified. I'm your boy Simba, aka Swizzy IV, and I'm joined by your three wonderful, beautiful boys. Firstly, I've got Connor, aka Conflict Strap. Connor, say hi.
Hi there.
Secondly, I have Reese, the amazing, wonderful Reese, aka Gamer Certain.
Hi.
And last, but most certainly not least, we have the beautiful, wonderful host of Rouse 40,
Yes.
the series, and magnificent one, Israel, aka Israel I or Rumalande, depending on where you're looking.
Thank you for
doing,
introducing me that way. Of course, someone notices my talent.
You know, I'm a connoisseur of the arts, you know.
The mind behind such greats like where are her organs?
Yeah, exactly. Where are her organs?
I do have a really important question that was sprung up by a discussion we were having seconds ago. If somebody was mugging you in sign language, how would you know?
I think they're like a knife or a gun being pointed at you.
What if there's no knife? What if it's like they're just big?
You start waving your hands back at them. Try and reason with them, but you don't know the language, so...
Try and reason, but how would you know? Like, at what point would it go from, this man's just waving his hands to, oh, he wants my wallet?
When he points at your wallet.
When he's using sign language, though. Is in sign language, is it like... Does it work
Similar opportunity, mug him at that point. He's using his hands to talk. He can't mug you at that precise moment.
You can't win, though, because you've just mugged a person who can't speak, and that you don't really win that.
Oh, crap. Just hit them.
Just square in the face and run.
Yeah.
Isn't that just as bad?
No. It's fine. You're not stabbing them.
You don't know it's among someone just ran up to you and started like waving hello.
Well, that's the question I'm asking is how do you know, like at what point does it transition to they're just moving their arms to they want me to do a thing?
Came up to you in an alleyway, presumably at night time, and you don't know them. Just assume
when
they're
they
going
pin you
to
in a
mug you.
corner. Or when they start, reaching for your wallet and phone.
Okay, actually, I've never actually been mugged though. Now that I think about it.
It's not fun.
Have you been mugged?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how was that?
Well, I was on a bike. I was pushed off of said bike. I was no longer on bike. I no longer had bike.
Did they do it in silence, though?
Yeah, actually.
Interesting.
Reach, you could have got mugged by a mute.
Wild.
Was it like a kid your age, or was it just some like grown man pushed off his bicycle?
Well, I was like probably
out?
like 7 or 8-ish, and this dude had to be like at least 15, 16, maybe a bit older.
I thought you were going to say 50.
Well, Reese, were you bummed out about it?
I think I was just confused. Because, like, I didn't understand the concept of being robbed yet, and then I learned.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've never been mugged. I feel like I'm surprised Connor hasn't been mugged, actually.
Nah, I've never been mugged. I have some form of street sense.
I mean, Connor, haven't you gone every single step up to like actually being taken from you though?
Yeah,
you've kind of done the rest.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I mean. No, I've never been robbed, and I've never been mugged. Mugged probably implies that you're conscious and everything, right? So
no, I wouldn't say so.
No, I think for mugging there has to be like the exchange of the goods, you know?
There was an exchange of probably his fist to your head, then his fist to your wallet, then dip.
No, but it's like, oi, wallet.
Mugging isn't bartering, you know that, right? It's just another word for stealing.
Yeah, it's yeah.
It's almost synonymous, actually.
Someone doesn't run up to you at knife. It's like, alright, here's my 5 skills that I can offer you. It's like, no, it's like he's coming, he's taking.
Yeah, what if you don't? But what if it's just not that easy? What if he actually has to? What if he tries to threaten instead? He uses the threaten strategy.
Okay, then you get stabbed.
Yeah, I feel like when threaten fails, he's gonna use bash overhead, and then you'll be asleep.
Yeah,
potentially forever.
And from what it sounds like, you have been mugged. You just weren't awake for it.
Yeah.
No, like I've never been like no one's ever stolen anything.
So you've just been assaulted, but with no real good reason.
Yeah, what they call that, battery? I fucking know.
So you were just randomly assaulted in the streets, Connor.
Yes. But I've never been mugged.
Somebody put a hit out on you.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
There's been like drones and shit in my area. It's weird.
Yeah, if you were attacked and not robbed, that's a hit. Like, that was personal. They didn't care about your stuff. They cared about you.
I'm not sure if you talked about your you being droned, have you?
No. Bro, where I was living was weird. It could have been a pure coincidence that someone just happened to be testing their drone, but that thing followed me for like a good 30-minute walk. So I don't know.
Your life in real life is interesting than my life in dreams. Because my life in dreams is just me getting shot. Do you know how many times I've actually been shot in a dream?
Do you actually have a number?
I think I've been shot in a dream more than 5 times. Actually,
There's a
probably
tally
more
on
than
the
that.
wall next
Oh,
to
you've
his
told
head.
me more than 5 times over the course of like 6 years. So
I think I've been I've been shot in dreams a lot. It's usually a hostage situation.
oh,
I don't know why. That's usually it. There was actually one night specific and I hated it. I went to sleep. There was one situation. I don't remember what it was. I feel like I was in the police for some reason. And then we were trying to break into some building. I think it had some people who were doing bad stuff. Let's not put labels because I don't have the energy for that. They were doing
Criminals.
bad stuff. We were the police and we came in and I didn't police hard enough and I got shot. And then I woke up and I was like, yo, that was exhausting. Let me try and sleep that one off again.
See, that does not happen to me. Whenever I die in dreams, I just either end up in another dream or nothing happens. I just don't stop dreaming. I don't wake up.
Have you been shot in a dream?
No, I don't. I can't recall.
Because I've died in a dream. Being shot is a whole nother thing.
I've died in dreams, definitely.
Nah, bro, just stay living.
Would you say that dying in a dream is different to being shot?
I don't know. I've never been shot, but I know that it's the wake up point. It's when you actually wake up and you're usually in like a cold sweat and
Oh yeah, for sure.
the pain, the actual feeling. Obviously, that's not going to be you don't know what being shot feels like. So whatever the most intense pain that you've probably experienced probably gets somehow transferred. And that's
my
my
brain's
place.
fucked up, right? So it's not even really the physical pain that gets me, right? It's the psychological trauma. Because it was like a hostage situation or whatever, it's never just like shot straight away. It's always like there's a gun to my head and they're looking at me with intent and it happens. You know that scene in the movie where the good guy's in that position where they're about to get shot, but plot armor is about to save them. I never have plot armor is basically what happens, and I have to deal with the psychological trauma of being in that situation. It's not lit.
Sorry, I don't watch Western movies.
What do you mean? That's like every action movie.
Like genuinely, I might they.
Israel, to summarize it, bad guy gun to good guy head. All of a sudden, a squirrel jumped out of a tree, dropped an acorn, which landed on a truck, which span it around. It went through the building. Bad guy dead.
Yeah, okay, cool. I get what you mean.
Kinda
I
be
get what you mean.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I want to have Connor's dreams where you just have cheese going through your mailbox. That's
Yeah, that is. If someone asks me what the weirdest dream I've ever had, that is usually the go-to. The cheese.
Like,
through
Connor, it was
the
slices,
mailbox.
right?
Cheese slices, individually wrapped.
Yeah, Simba, I told Connor this. It's just he sees the future, but like it's very vague.
wait, how?
Years in the past, he knew that was his brain telling him that sometime in the future, Isaac is going to show up to his house with a slice of cheese and leave it.
Yeah, to be fair, that is something that he's been threatening to do for months now, which is really weird.
He didn't say this because of this dream, did he? It was like completely unrelated.
No, you just said that he for some reason wants to deliver cheese and leave.
Isaac wants to deliver some sliced packaged cheese to Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Connor's known about this for a while. He's been preparing.
Of course.
Wait, didn't you say in that same dream you grabbed the room or reality? And started
I grabbed reality and spun it.
Okay, what does that even mean?
So imagine like a tree branch, okay? And you've got like the tree branch and then you've got all the bits that come off it, okay? Now
They're
imagine...
called leaves.
No, not leaves. The tree branch has little branches coming off of it. Like sticks. You know, like a tree branch.
See, I didn't know what level of branch you were going. I didn't realize you were like a top branch.
Didn't you just describe a tree branch?
I did
Correct,
just
he did,
explain
Simba.
a tree branch, but
Yes.
basically what I'm trying to say is once reality was post-spin, the tree branch was all wibbly-wabbly and like it kind of like looked stretched
call that
like
wind.
a photoshopped image. Wind doesn't stretch tree branches.
I mean,
What was life like in a post-spin? What was it like in a post-spin reality?
Really wavy. That's wavy in a lot of weird colors, basically. And it's weird because, like, when you're in a dream, your mind's just like, "This is fine. This is normal." You know, one of those ones when you grab reality and spin it.
I can't relate actually.
don't know them
very
ones.
very distinctly can't relate.
quite
I
unrelatable.
I did actually have a question that I wanted to ask that I only thought of just like literally a few hours ago. Have you ever been in a dream where you're not you?
No.
Or are you always you in your dreams?
Yep.
I'm either me or I guess nothing.
It's either I'm either me or in third person.
Bro, you have third person dreams?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do.
I suppose I've had like cinematic dreams, but...
Or kind of just not first, not third. You know what? I'm gonna start calling it fifth person, where like there's no real perspective. Everything just kind of happened. And it's just like, it'd be like that.
Yeah, the reason why all my dreams are in first person is because, I didn't mention this, all my dreams are usually pretty grounded in reality. All the hostage situations are usually like, I'm at work, I'm going to Morrison's or something.
Jesus.
And then, oh no, the bad people are here. And there's this one dream I remember. I got a PSP when I was younger. And I loved my PSP. I had, what was it called? I think it was called Pursuit Force. That was lit. I had Worms on there. I had all sorts of great video games on that thing. And then one day, it just vanished. I just woke up and it wasn't anywhere anymore. I don't remember exactly when it vanished, but I just remember it just vanished one day. And then I went to sleep, took a little nappy nap, so just a bit of a gamer nap. And during that gamer nap, right, I had this dream. I woke up and I was playing with my PSP. I was having a good time. I found it. I knew where it was, in the house that I was living in. So I finished playing my PSP and then I go back to bed and then I wake up again. I'm like, oh, my PSP. I run around and I'm like, wait a minute. I don't have my PSP. But I was like, no. I know where it is. And I went there and I spent the whole day looking for it. And then I was depressed and that was a very sad point in my life.
Poor Simba.
I have T-posed in a nightmare before. I know that because I laughed and woke up. And though I was freaked out, I was laughing, like, as I woke up, because I was running, I don't know what the hell was happening, but I was running away from some, like, Uragur monster, and then, like, I just stopped and was like, what am I doing? And it just went,
Connor's a Chad even in his dreams, even in his nightmares.
But it's like the T-pose was the wake-up, though. Like, I just, like, turn around and T-pose. I woke up.
Maybe that's what happens if you actually T-pose. I've never done it. Maybe if you do just aggressively stick your arms out, and if you truly mean it, you do just wake up. That's how you get woke.
No, realistically, I probably did the fucking T-pose, like, in bed and hit the wall or something, and that woke me up.
Like, punching a wall probably would wake you up, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that probably does wake you up, Oh, good God.
Bro.
The dreams are really strange.
I wonder if Jeff Bezos T-poses in his fucking dreams.
Yeah, but he does, though.
T for trillionaire, you got to.
Do you think he just dreams of, like, going to a press conference and he just T-poses and walks out?
Oh, that man.
Look, I feel like he could do that and he probably would get away with it.
Probably could. You can pay people.
If I was on his level, I would be able to do that, but
I want to be on that level.
I want to be on that level. Well, the man's going to be a trillionaire. I don't know if anyone really can handle $1 trillion. That's a lot of money.
I could handle it easy.
I don't think I could. Like, genuinely, what? I actually did like a calculation, a random calculation of like, what amount of stuff would I need? So, I'd like a fast running PC. Went on PC Parts Picker, tried to figure out the most expensive PC that was, or not most expensive PC, what most expensive PC I would want for being a producer. And I got one around, 9,000. And an SSL desk, 15,000. A PM, like some speakers, 7,000. Guitars, I wanted like 3 guitars, so 634, 799. 1.7k, then some 2 guitar amps, 800, 1.2k, then a Steinway grand piano, I don't know why, but 44k.
Just cause.
Might as well, innit?
£5,000 worth of microphones, and then 7 pairs of headphones. Basically, I was trying to make a studio. I was trying to say, could I have a studio and a house at the same time? So 7 pairs of headphones. And so I don't know how much renovation costs. I'm just going to make a random guess and say 80k. And then I was looking at this one specific house and it cost like 25 million. And I was like, okay, so for all of that, I'd be paying 26,666,072 pounds 50.
It's like when you're at that point though, just you can say, you go to a restaurant, go get a cup of coffee or whatever, and you can just tip $1 million and walk out.
$1 trillion is so much money.
It's a million.
Our boy Isaac did us some fun calculations actually. So if you had $1 trillion and assuming you live for 8 years, and this is from the beginning of your life, you could live off $12.5 billion a year.
Jesus,
that's $3.4 million every single day, cuz.
Yeah.
Yo.
The thing that this is forgetting is, realistically, he can't lose money.
No, that's the thing as well, obviously. Like,
It's like
he's just gonna keep making money.
No matter how much this man spends a day, unless, he goes Amazon, high to low, actually let's just get it all, and buys one of everything. Realistically, how much money he's spending in a day, he's earning more than that.
Oh, for sure. If he spent $3 million in that day, he probably would get it back pretty fast. Pretty goddamn quickly. It's just such an unfathomable amount. Like, there's no way that guy looks at the price of anything anymore.
Definitely.
Why would you?
Like, I'm sure he just does it. He's just like, I need a thing, and then he just buys it.
Yeah, so I'll just take one.
Like, at what level of wealth do you think money would mean just nothing to you? Like, you wouldn't even care. Like, you wouldn't even, like, look at the price of something. Because, like, obviously, yeah, you can easily say $1 trillion, but, like, is there a point before that which you're like, nah, we're good, bro? Like, it's really okay.
$500,000.
$500,000?
Yeah.
You really? And you wouldn't check the price of anything? At $500,000?
Nothing that I would be buying, no. I probably wouldn't.
Realistically, yeah, probably.
House, though, like...
Yeah, house though, but like, what? Say that I decide to buy the house outright for 120 grand. I just decide to buy
like
it.
Let's say you just got the money right now.
Yeah.
Right? At what point, like, how much money would you need at this point with what you have, right, to not check the price of anything you're buying? Like, none of us own actual houses.
I guess a
so
mil?
if you're buying a house, that's gonna be hundreds and thousands.
No, it's gonna be like hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands. Did you say one, Connor? Do you forget what city you live in, cuz?
I'm gonna buy a house here.
Why not, bro?
Yeah, but
am I
like,
stupid?
bro.
See, for me, I would say around 800 mil or 500 mil, because that's a lot of millions. That's a lot of millions. To me, that's a lot, because, like, there are still things that I feel like would be massively expensive, or I wouldn't have to check the price tag.
I agree with that. I agree that it's definitely higher than what you're pushing. Like 500,000, Connor, is what I would say is a reasonable. Like, if I just me living normally, like, I'll be like, all right, fine.
You can get a house, car, get everything you need.
Yeah, and even 500,000 is really pushing at you. That's not gonna last you that long, to really and truly.
Yeah, anything over, say, like 5 mil maybe, and even that could potentially be too high.
I would say like 20 to 50 mil, and I probably wouldn't care about anything anymore.
You know, actually, yeah, that does seem fair. Yeah, no, that seems fair.
Because like a 5 mil level is say I can get a house, I can, like, get, like, family a house, get me a car, whatever, set,
Yeah,
and just vibe.
because if I have $1 million, if I buy myself a house, I'm gonna check the price of that house.
Yes, definitely.
Right?
Yeah, if you're saying completely non-checking no price, then probably they're like up to like 20, 50.
Exactly. That's what I'm asking. It's like, at what point do you feel like you would feel the need to check the price of the things you know you're gonna buy? I feel like at 20 to 50, really, if you're trying to really safety it, 100 mil.
I guess if you're throwing things like houses into that list, sure. I thought it was just like just the day to day.
How much does a yacht cost?
House.
Ooh, how much does a yacht cost?
How much is one?
Connor,
yacht?
how much is the Disney experience?
I don't remember, but if you said that if you were going to do a question about what would you do with $1 trillion, it was on there.
Apparently, you can get a 100-meter super yacht for around like just under 300 million.
Okay, so we're not on that level. I wouldn't want a yacht in my life. So we've settled on like 20 to 50 million is our like. We wouldn't really care anymore. Now, at $1 trillion, what do you do with that?
All
We
on
said
red,
like 50
baby.
million, right?
Oh, did you say all on red?
Bro, with Jeff Bezos, he could literally earn the money back. The trillionaire bit is a clout thing, and if he wins, he bankrupts a casino. There is zero loss. However, that's not why I would do it. I'd buy a Disney yacht and build a pyramid, probably. That's everything else is whatever.
If I had $1 trillion, I'd buy an island with an airport, and then just have an airport that can fit a Boeing on it, a Boeing 747 or an Airbus, and then just have that. And then I'll have a house, but I'm going to convert the Boeing 747 into a house that I can live in. And then the house I live in is just a secondary house.
Bruh.
I don't know. I might just use the money to fund a bit of science, and then also, help other countries.
Lame.
Science.
I know.
Dude, funding the progress of human civilization. Lame.
I don't think so. Pyramid
I
for
would
me,
buy out
thank
the
you.
world's supply of pens so I never run out of ink again. Have a monopoly in everything.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Simba, that kind of, you're fine. You're good. No, but this is why you do it from Mars. They ain't coming to Mars to get you.
Like that's against a lot of that's just big bad. That's how rich people go to prison.
Oh wait, speaking of which, guys, we've missed one very important thing. Pay your taxes. That's what we do when we're trillionaires.
Yes. When I'm making my 300 billion a year, don't just remember that 40% of that goes to my OGs and the government. Because I love paying my taxes.
Except realistically, it doesn't, though, does it?
Move to the sun.
I was going to say
taxes on the sun.
No taxes on the sun.
Do you know where there's less taxes on the sun?
Mm-hmm.
Sun 2.
Sun 2?
Sun 2 has less taxes than Sun 1.
That philosopher dude.
Maybe that's why these billionaires are trying to like go into space industry. They just want to get away from taxes. I believe that.
That's why he started space.
Now think about it. There are like a lot of like really rich people that are really getting deep into like space.
Connor, they know there's no taxes on the sun.
Bro, they found out.
They found out there's no taxes on the sun, dude. And you know, you may be wondering, oh man, but I love my sunny planet Earth days. That's what Sun 2 is for. And if you move to Sun 2, then you've got Sun 1 for sunny days.
Exactly.
The system just really works.
Sometimes it does.
Sometimes it really does. Sometimes it really does. Indeed. One last question I had. You know, I have considered the idea of being special, and I feel like, and maybe this is just an assumption based on myself, I feel like everyone feels like they have something that makes them a little bit different or special or sets them apart from everyone else. Do you guys believe you have a thing that sets you out?
Of course.
Makes you special. There's something different about you.
No.
I have no clue.
Since you're such an eager beaver, what's your thing, cuz?
Just no limit on the amount of sarcasm in any given moment.
You are extremely sarcastic. I will give that to you. Israel and Connor, you guys said you don't feel that's the case.
No.
Okay, do you feel that most people have a thing that's like sets them apart?
I think that most people like to think that they do because
it
makes them feel like an individual, but I think that it doesn't exist. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that people are unimportant. I don't think that at all, but I think that everyone likes to think that they're the main character in life. And I think that the special, unique thing helps them think that.
I personally, because the way I see it is, I don't believe in the concept of just having raw talent. You might have something genetic that might help you to do something good, but I don't really believe in the idea of just talent. Generally, I just believe in like most human beings, personally, at least to me, are malleable enough. They could look at something, want to do it, and you know, at some point they will do it well.
Yeah,
I mean, there is some things that like can be down to raw talent. Of course, you know, people who don't have that can build themselves up to it. But I think like the whole talent thing, it is a thing, not for like everything, but for some things.
I don't think it is. Really,
I don't think so.
I think what Israel said taps on it. I think people who are talented have something that makes it easier for a certain skill to be set apart. Like, let's say you wanted to get into music, right? If just from the get-go, your ability to recognize different pitch and different keys and stuff like that was just good from the get-go, that's gonna help you out a lot more. That might sound like talent, but it's like you're not good at amazing at music. You just have this one thing that makes it easier. And I think Israel's right there. But counterpoint, wouldn't that necessarily be something special though?
Yeah, that would be something special. I just don't think everyone has something special.
I guess what you mean by special is it like if you say by special as in like, you know, I like say I have this thing that helps me in this one area. But to me, at least saying like special, I'm more seeing it as like unique in a sense, as in like that person's the only thing with this thing. If it's just like, oh, this person has a skill which helps in this area, then because that's gifted.
No, I'm not saying it's unique, but I'm like, they have this thing that only a few other people also have. But it's like, here's this really cool thing that like most other people don't have, but I have, and it sets me apart.
It's just not always positive.
That's fair. Okay. Yeah, no, that's a fair statement. Why do you think that?
Just in general, like, I feel like, you know, everyone has some sort of thing, and it can either be a thing, like, as you said, like, you know, really good at noticing, like different keys, or being, like, good at, say, like, problem solving and mathematical thinking, things like that, which could positively benefit you, or just other things, which is still technically special and being, like, different, of, say, unable to focus, and just any sort of, like, negative thing like that. That's still special in a sense, it's just, you wouldn't think of it as that, because it's not benefiting.
Okay, you have the ones that are overtly beneficial.
Yeah, and then some that, will negatively affect you.
Connor, would you still say you stick by your original statement with the slightly more refined?
I'm not too sure. So, like, obviously, with what you're describing there, that sounds like what you'd usually like refer to as being gifted, I suppose. Which is, if you mean special and unique in that sort of way, then yeah, I suppose. But I thought I thought you meant like that everyone basically is special in their own unique way.
I'm saying like everyone that has like not unique, because I think it's just there's 7 billion people.
Yeah, unique. That's impossible.
You just can't.
No.
You just can't. But it's like if you have a thing and even only like 15% of the population have that, or 10% of the population has that, that's a pretty special thing. Or you have that thing, that's a pretty set apart thing. And like Reese said, depending on where you define that, it can be negative or positive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think everyone has a positive one?
No.
Okay, you don't think everyone has a positive kind of attribute?
I mean, they might, but if it is, definitely not everyone finds it.
Okay, well, maybe not everyone looks for it.
Mm-hmm.
Is the actual turnaround.
Yeah.
Okay, do you feel like things that you work on throughout your life can still count towards that? So let's say you start out and you feel like you don't have a thing, right? But then you work towards building one specific skill set or one specific thing or one area of your life. Do you think that then can count towards that initial this setting apart thing? Or do you feel like it's like if you don't have it from the get-go, it doesn't matter?
No, I mean, if you work for it and gain it,
yeah,
you're now part of the group that does. You now have it.
Yeah, I agree. I see it that way.
Kind of, would you agree?
I'm thinking, I don't know. So say that it was like you were saying before about being able to hearing pitches better and things?
Yeah.
Say that you're able to do that from like a childhood or whatever, and you're working on it throughout a really long time. Is, in your hypothetical, the person that's done that later on at the same level as the person in the beginning?
Well, I guess that poses actually a different question of whether you believe people who start later on can catch up with people like we initially prefaced this with.
I say it's easier.
Yeah.
Easier for the second people or the first people?
The second people. Because this kind of brings on to like a slight sideway, but still related. Personally, I really like telling a child they're like gifted and talented at a certain thing is one of the worst things you could do.
Oh, I see. I see why Reese feels that way.
Elaborate. I know why you're saying that, but yeah, elaborate.
I know where this is going.
I'm, say, part of this group. Who was, pretty much the entire time growing up, I was known to be one of the smart ones. So like, you're so gifted, you're talented, you're like super good at math and stuff like that. Man, you just so smart and get things. And so you tell a child, hey, you're just good at these things. So the child goes, oh, I'm just good? Cool, I don't need to work on it then. So I'm just good. I'll always just be good. And so they don't potentially put in as much effort as they should in that various skill because they've just been told they're just naturally good at it. Why they don't need to put in work. Yeah. They've just got it. It's theirs. And so they sort of end up taking that almost for granted and then perhaps aren't able to take that as high as they would potentially want to. Whereas somebody who is told, I'm sorry, you're not just naturally gifted at this, but they still want to do it. They're going to put in just like twice, 5 times, 10 times the amount of work as somebody who's told they're just naturally good at it. And I feel like the person who actually has to go and get it themselves, they're so much more driven to actually get it that I think they can easily reach higher.
Well, if it's been a decision, right?
Yeah.
They've made. I guess it's just like that. It's almost deterministic where you just feel like, oh, I'm really smart. I'll always be smart.
I'm just gonna put this out there now. As somebody who's in that group, you won't be. You don't want to hear it, but that's fact. There reaches a hard point where one day you realize your ladder stopped having steps.
As someone who wasn't told they were smart, but was told, you can get closer to smart people if you just put in enough effort, and then trying to put enough effort, always constantly trying to catch up to the smart people. To me, it's gone to the point where I just like, man, I've just done enough work. Can I get my reward, please? I'm exhausted. I just kind of want to stop putting effort now.
I can get that. That whole thing of like, oh, man, it's been long. Can I just be done now? I think that's probably why a lot of people may end up not getting as far as the already smart people, because it is a lot of work, and you have to decide that you're really down for this thing. If you're like, I want to be one of the greats, I want to be better than everybody who's been doing it for time, I guess, and that's what can make it differult. But yeah, I'm with Israel here, where I was like, I was never told as a kid. I was like, you're the special, you're chosen, or whatever. And
lucky you.
Yeah, I think it's been good because I don't know when, but I picked up this mentality at some point. I was like, hey man, I can just do better, I guess.
Yeah, so if you literally take me and you, it really shows the extremes of them two sides.
Well, yeah. if you decide to look at it that way.
Somebody told you need to get organized and fix up to actually do good, and somebody was just told, you do good.
Yeah, the thing is, nobody ever really told me that, actually. It's like at some point in my life I realized, man, if I want it, I just gotta work for it. Yeah, at some point I just realized, I was like, oh man, I kind of gotta work hard if I want stuff. But school was not the environment for that.
I didn't realize that until like halfway through first year uni.
Man, it's okay. Some people don't realize that until they're like 40. So
yeah.
It's crazy. Connor, did you come to some sort of realization about how you felt about the thing?
The thing?
The thing.
Okay, Connor, were you ever told that, like, as a child, were you like told you were talented or special?
Were you ever told you were a gamer?
Oh yeah, totally, all the time. They were like, "Hey, Connor, you're gonna, yeah, no."
I remember you complained that you were basically told the opposite, almost, in a sense, right? With the whole foundation versus higher aspect of education.
I was actually told that, like, after the mock exams, I think I was supposed to get an E in maths, and I was supposed to get a D in everything else, but whether that slightly drove me, I don't think so, kind of, maybe. But I ended up, like, coming out of it with the highest grade that I could, at least, in most of the subjects. I don't know if, like, the reason for that is because, as you know, they say, like, when you're told that you can't do something, it's kind of like, I can do this.
Yeah, there's two sides to that. So we go, okay, I can't do it, don't bother trying. And other people are like, no, I will do this out of spite.
I don't get motivated out of spite. I just motivate myself. I don't know. I've never been someone ever told me, oh, you can't do this, and then suddenly I motivate myself to prove that person wrong. I've never felt like that. Usually it's just I've always been encouraged to do well, because, like, literally all throughout GCSE I was like an average B student, you know, your average regular B student, and I was like, you know, maybe I could get an A star. Maybe I could. You know what? I'm going to try and aim for an A star. Especially because, like, history, I think history or French were the subjects. I was like, you know what? I could probably get an A on in these two. I'm going to aim for that. Didn't happen, but yeah.
Yeah, no, school never motivated me, I guess. I just, like...
Yeah, I never aimed for an A.
I know, and I feel almost bullshit. It's like, I know how much better I could have done in school, but I really didn't try,
easy.
And I don't know why. I realized most recently my motivation has come from there's a part of it that's being motivated by doing things that other people find difficult. Like, there's certain skills at the moment that I'm learning because that's gonna be useful, and I have a reason to do it. But to me, showing myself I can learn this extremely difficult thing will tell me, yo, I could do that. I can do that thing too then, because this was extremely difficult, and in comparison, those are pretty easy. So to me, it's proving to myself that I'm capable of doing some things that are really difficult for most people.
I have a similar-ish thing. Instead of it being like a thing that's difficult for other people, I guess, like, now, my main driving force for any sort of skill I learn is just so that I don't have to rely on anyone, if that makes sense. So it's like, say, like, now I'm doing all my various coding things. But then at some point, I know I potentially want to, say, make a game, which still comes under the coding things. But then, say, I want to be able to promote that somehow. So I want to learn website design. I want to be able to then actually create all the graphics for it. So I want to do, like, graphic design and, like, video editing to do anything. I want to learn every single skill that I may ever need so that I don't have to go, okay, I can't do this, and I need somebody else to jump in and help. It's like, I want to just be able to do, if I start a project, I want to be able to do every single part of that project I could ever need.
That's interesting, because I feel at some point in the past few years, I was at that kind of position, because there's a lot of things that a lot of skills and stuff that I want to learn, and I feel as I was in a similar position to that, where I wanted to be like just the one-man band that can do all the stuff I need.
Or at least have a basic understanding, so that if somebody does come in not completely clueless, and you can actually, you know, if you do hire somebody else to help it, you can tell if they're scamming you, and you actually know the kind of effort it takes.
Exactly, no, it's useful. The thing is that only changed about me is I still want to do a variety of different things, but I think my reasoning has shifted to being a one-man band and to figuring out what I want to do. There are like I do one-man band most of the stuff. Whenever I need to design something like a logo, I've used Photoshop enough. I'm not a graphic designer, but I can just whip something up. And, you know, if with enough time, I can just be like, got a thing. And now, you know, I can do graphic design stuff. And I have other skill areas. But now learning those type of things that you're learning is less for me about being a one-man band and more about figuring out what it is I actually want to focus my energy and time on in long term. But maybe you figured out that for you, that's coding. So maybe you can just give the other things little bits and pieces here.
At least I've got that for now until that changes, if it changes.
Say that I do agree with partly, at least, in what Reese was saying in regards to I'd say learning enough about it. Like I do like basically I'm okay with using other people's skills. I know that other people are clearly going to be more skilled in more things than I am.
Better.
Because that's like that.
Yeah.
But I would at least want to learn to a point where they're not going to scam you, like Reese was saying. Basically, that is something that I do believe in. But I couldn't imagine like, oh, I'm gonna go for this end goal and then I'm going to learn the crap out of everything that I would need to do to get that end goal.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a point at which I realized the just chasm between amateur and master at something. I did switch to that point where I was like, if I can, I'll get somebody who can do this for me, and I might push for that far more. And the only skills I'm learning now, I'm only learning them just because I want to learn them, and it's less of a thing of like I want a one-man band it. But there definitely is at some point that feeling of like I just want to be able to do everything on your own, especially when you're like our age and you're like you don't have the resources to pay someone for every single little thing that you need done, and it would just be better. Really and truly, the main skill I think I'd recommend everybody learn is some basic, especially working the creative skill, just basic understanding of graphic design, and
I'm trying to do that
right now. Learn those two. And
trust me, that's needed. It's surprising how many people don't have that.
You'll be ahead of the game. Like making stuff, graphic design related stuff for me has just gone so much easier just because of the base knowledge. I just like it doesn't take long. It doesn't take much work to make something not ugly. Is what I'll say.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, it does not take too much work, but we have been putting too much work and energy into this episode of the podcast. It's been going on for a little bit too long, and I'm tired, and it's late, and I'm sure y'all have much better things to do. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. If you want to find out what's happening with the boys, you can head over to twitter.com/Unverifed. That's UNVERIFSHOW. There's no space. I just needed to breathe. And if you want to go watch this live stream, we live stream on Twitch under the same name, which is totally great and amazing. And if you love the show and you want to appreciate us, want to help us climb them ranks, then leave us a review on iTunes. It's going to be good or bad, preferably good, if you liked it, but feel free to leave us a review. And like the video if you did like it. Let us know how you feel about things. I've been your boy Simba, and do you for three boys have anything to say to the people? Connor?
Oh, why would you start with me?
You don't do you have anything? You don't have to say anything if you don't have anything,
I do not.
Wise words. Reese, what do you got for us?
Spend this quarantine, learn a new skill.
Yes, that would be very gamer. You should do that.
KSI dropped an album just right now, just an hour ago. You can go listen to that. And you can also go listen to my music on my music channel.
Israel, you take a marketing course.
And my closing statement is, don't feel like you're behind in life, especially if you're our age. It can be really easy to feel like that. You'll figure out what you need to figure out eventually. Just have fun learning and have fun figuring it out. You don't know the answers. Trust me, your peers don't know the answers, and your seniors 20, 30, maybe 40, even 50 years above you, they'll probably might even not know the answers. So don't feel like you're behind. You're not really behind. It's just a perspective thing. Enjoy your beautiful day, and I will see you. Wait. I thought something.
Sorry, Twitter thing. No. I thought of a thing. F you. So basically, right? So if you spill milk and clean it up with a paper towel, it's like you're cleaning up a cow with a tree.
Wild.
I'll see you guys next episode. Goodbye.
Game over. Oh, that was such a tough.